1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Tabak versus Crazyman. Scavenge Doctrine versus Airborne and Infantry Recon. Pretty standard stuff. Kholodny Ferma, Summer. Gonna see Crazyman. We've watched Crazyman quite a few times. He's been participating in some of my tournaments lately. He's good, but he's not quite at that next level where he makes it to like the quarterfinals or semifinals, but he's getting there. Probably about on the same level as Paul. Maybe Paul's a little better, I don't know. It's kind of funny how in KO2, once you get past the top 20 maybe on the leaderboards, the numbers don't really make sense anymore, because Paul is ranked #1 on all of the leaderboards, but he just, in a competitive setting, when it comes down to the wire in tournaments, he can't quite seal the deal, and Crazyman's kind of in that similar situation where I think he and Paul are, like, they have similar tournament performance, even though they have a big difference in the big ladder disparity, so kind of an interesting thing. You're not gonna stream your own games ever again in your life? Yeah, I probably will. I still play sometimes, but I like casting, and I have a lot of people sending me requests, so I just keep doing them, I guess. Gonna see pretty typical opening here. Left side base, Axis going hard for the munitions as they tend to. Wire to prevent usage of the green cover from the right side. And we might be seeing Tabak place a pretty aggressive battle group over here. Placing it over here I generally have not seen succeed or even attempted. It's pretty unusual to see that. Usually battle groups go in the base or behind this building. Two squads heading south are going to get all of that territory captured pretty quickly. And there's a Kubel wagon, kind of a late Kubel wagon. Usually you see Kubel wagon first. Getting it after two Volksgrenadier squads means it comes out at about 2.5 minutes, which means it only has about 2.5 minutes before the US player can field a counter. With vehicles, you really want to maximize the window of opportunity that they have to force retreats, or depending on the vehicle, get wipes or secure map control. So, getting the Kubel wagon late like that, kind of an interesting decision. So far, hasn't even fired. 3 minutes now. Crazyman is going to go Lieutenant, halfway done already. Once that hits the field, he'll probably go M20 in that Kubel wagon. May never force a retreat. He's at least preventing these riflemen from advancing. One squad of riflemen heading right is going to win that engagement easily. Those stern piles are already quite wounded. Yes, folks. Nice and relaxed. Nice and calm today. Volksgrenadiers jumping into this shed. Forcing a retreat right there. Stern Pios apparently did okay in that engagement. They managed to make it into this green cover in an engagement I thought they would lose for sure. They didn't quite drop any models, and Crazyman retreats before he drops any models just to avoid too much manpower bleed in that engagement. It's actually been a pretty non-lethal game so far. Haven't seen, just 3 models lost total 5 minutes into the game. That's pretty impressive. The game's about more than just unit preservation. It's about model preservation too. Even manpower bleed is important. Your echelon troops try and push that Kubel wagon away, but it looks like he's going to be forced pretty much completely off the field. But here's his utility car making its way down the central road. Lieutenant engaging these Volksgrenadiers. Didn't have to leave his position in yellow cover, by the way. There's really no reason for him to do that other than to maximize the damage of his Thompson. But the BAR and Garens in that squad would have been better, I think, at medium range. He probably could have forced that retreat without dropping that second model. I think he should have stayed in cover.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Utility car is working to cut off munitions rather than hunting and killing that Kubel wagon, so Tabak knows there's a M20 on the field. He's going to pull that Kubel wagon back towards his mechanized regiment HQ, try and protect it from the M20 for now. Crazyman is not cut off since he holds the center VP, and Lieutenant is taking the north VP, moving to Get some more territory under control over here. The squad of stern pyos can't pull back to heal. They could reinforce one model, but they can't heal until they're vet 1 or there's a battle group on the field. So he's just going to leave them in the house for now, try and maximize the impact they might be able to have if, say, another wounded squad shows up to try and take these munitions. But they're going to go down pretty quick even in that house at their current level of HP. There's an ambulance.
Boys, you ready to roll out?
Crazyman has access to healing a little earlier than his opponent and has set up a triple cap. Points ticking quite quickly against Tabak now.
Ready.
M20 is going to try and plant some mines, I think, somewhere.
Taking fire! Capture point is being overrun.
And there's a Rakettenwerfer. Rakettenwerfer going into that building will create a zone of protection against that M20. There's the first M6 mine on that intersection. Lieutenant has to retreat right through stern pyos. And those stern pyos, despite being heavily wounded in this house, pick up a wipe. There's a BAR right there too that those Volksgrenadiers can recover. Kugelwagen is going to prevent any advance on the fuel from these two infantry until the utility car arrives to help. It's currently busy planting mines down here though, I think.
Good to go.
No, there's no mine right there. So I don't know what that utility car is doing. I guess he doesn't feel comfortable attacking with it with that Rakettenwerfer in the area, plus a Panzerschreck now in this building. Utility car needs to get clear of that Rakettenwerfer ASAP. That smoke probably wasn't really necessary. It's going to take 2 shots from that Rakettenwerfer to kill this thing. But it will prevent it from firing. Lessen the amount of time he has to spend repairing. He's got a pretty decent amount of munitions as well, and that's infantry company chosen by Crazyman. He's probably going to go for M1919s in the future. An infantry company off of lieutenant tier is a little bit risky. If you skip captain, you have no AT guns. And if you don't skip captain, your tanks are very late, so kind of a trade-off. He does, of course, have the M20 for mines. And there's a flak half-track on the field, so it's okay if his tanks are later if he doesn't go captain tier initially. This does mean, however, he's going to be a little weak against the flak half-track, at least at first, with no AT guns and, I don't know, he could research bazookas at least to give himself some sort of weapon against that thing. The only real weapon he has against this is the M20's 50 cal, the M6 anti-tank mines, and the vehicle cruise bazooka, which are pretty good weapons, but generally a well-microed flak half-track beats lieutenant tier. Especially once it hits vet 1, because then it can smoke, and the AA, the American AA half-track cannot attack ground, and it can.
Support package received. Contact! Small arms fire!
Minesweeper upgraded on the stern pyos will help them repair, and the scavenge doctrine was chosen at the very beginning of the game. Now we're going to see Jaegers deployed here in the north. At this range and health, I think they'll beat that rifle squad. Kugelwagen will definitely seal the deal. Yep, there's 2 snipes. Engagement is 1.
Target captured. No enemy contact. Command level capabilities ready for deployment.
Pretty quiet though. Flak half-track defending center, Kugelwagen defending north. Crazyman gets back control of his fuel here in the south, healing up by the ambulance, and he's just waiting for his tank to arrive, I assume, before making a big push. Doesn't have a triple cap going. Clock is currently stopped. Crazyman has a big lead.
Command vehicle has gone static. HQ operations now underway. Infantry attacking in force! Crossfire! Taking infantry fire! Weapon team ready.
Rakettenwerfer gets 1 shot on the M20, which will pull back to safety, and the flag half-track advances with infantry towards Crazyman's cutoff to try and shut down all of his resource income. And I don't think that that squad of riflemen can do anything meaningful here. Kind of stranded alone behind enemy lines. fighting position just got constructed right there. These stern piles have been heavily wounded for a long time. They still haven't reinforced. And they're finally going to start dropping models. He's got to put away that minesweeper or he's doing like no damage here. Those rear echelon troops might beat them. They definitely would if they would just jump inside that fighting position for the rifle grenades. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't done that, honestly. Kuba wagon will shut down this charge by riflemen for the right side VP again, or the north VP. Black half-track pushes away the M20, which just took huge damage from a Panzerschreck. But we'll get back to safety. Riflemen getting burst down by the flak half-track in the building. This is a really strong situation for Tabak to be in, but again, that Sherman is about to hit the field. He needs to protect this flak half-track or there's going to be a huge momentum swing very soon. He needs to throw a mine in its retreat path. He needs to have a Raketenwerfer pointed at it. Currently, his one Raketenwerfer is way up here, nowhere where he can save this. And he has one Panzerschreck retreating, which means I think that flak half-track is basically dead if it doesn't start repositioning back towards the OKW base right now. Fortunately, the Sherman stops. It reveals itself on this road and stops instead of gunning straight for that undefended flak half-track, which is now trying to reposition to safety. Riflemen couldn't quite get in range for a grenade and they'll retreat. The Sherman is going deep though, very deep. No mines on the retreat path, but no minesweeper support either. And I don't think Crazyman is going to overcommit here. I don't know, he might. There's the Raketenwerfer in that house and the Sherman will expose itself. There's one shot. Sherman takes 2 hits from that Raketenwerfer, bringing it to half health. Crazyman will pull back towards the center. Volksgrenadiers with the Shrek jumping into that building are going to push the Sherman back even further. Crazyman's going to try to work the munitions and VP with vehicle crew and riflemen. I'm honestly amazed that flak half-track is alive right now. Crazyman had a huge window of opportunity to kill that thing, but he didn't capitalize on it. I don't know what that was. Riflemen just expose themselves to a pretty big blob and get wrecked.
Get ready to displace. All done here, boys. Pause for orders. God damn it! Someone get us out of here! Keep the pressure up!
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Well, grab your shit and follow me.
Taking flanking fire! Go ahead!
M20 is pulling back to safety right there. 50 cal setting up facing towards the center.
Sherman ready to go. Double check batteries on that mine detector.
Still kind of quiet though. Sherman's been fully repaired and looks like it may want to go back in. Crazyman's infantry forces are looking pretty thin, especially for somebody that went infantry company. He has 1 squad equipped with M1919s and that's it. His lieutenant got wiped a long time ago and he just lost another rifle squad. He's only fielded 3 this game, so...
Waiting orders. Infantry, deal with the
Oh. That crush. Nice crush. Raketenwerfer tries to push the Sherman away with Panzerschreck right there. Volksgrenadier squad gets wiped.
Okay, on your feet, ladies. Under fire!
The infantry set up behind this fence have been pushing riflemen off that victory point all game long. There's a Reckenwerfer over here as well. Gets a shot on the M20, which will pull back to safety. And I don't think these riflemen can win this engagement. Getting gunned down in red cover by Jaegers.
Orders incoming!
And that engagement is definitely lost. Even with defensive stance, he won't be able to beat that much infantry. And Tabak just continues to hold the line. The fact that he's not being that aggressive, especially in the undefended south, means he has a very strong defense right here, but he doesn't have that much map control. But 2 victory points is a good thing to be holding on to, for sure. He's probably going to pull even eventually if he can just maintain. The main problem he has to deal with is the fact that his opponent has so much fuel coming in. 35 compared to his own 18, which means he's going to have to deal with a lot of American tanks. If he can't chip away at these tanks and kill them one by one, and Crazyman masses like 3 or 4, there's a pretty good chance that his lines will break unless he prepares accordingly. A lot of anti-tank.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready. What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green is green. Shoot up here! Well, grab your shit.
That actually is Captain Price's donation alert, Bertz. It's the gunshot bug. So, somebody beat you to the punch.
Crew ready. Ready. Send orders.
Home scarred up cripples are in a body bag. Lose.
Task complete. Crew ready. 50 cows up. Armor ready. Taking hits. They're flanking us.
Here comes another crush from that Sherman. Flak half-track needs to try and reposition to safety. There's a Panzerschreck shot. Sherman's at about half. Flak half-track needs to keep kiting. Nice protection of that flak half-track, keeping that out of the Sherman's line of sight. He's got to try and get that to safety. He stops moving to suppress that rifle squad, though. Might be able to get away with that. I don't know. Sherman is being turned about to try and assist. That Reckenwerfer is pointed a little awkwardly. Flak half-track working on the M20 right there. Bringing it pretty low. Sherman circles around this bush, tries to get in range on that flak half-track. There's a successful shot. That must pull back for repairs. I don't know if that Sherman will survive, though. Second Reckenwerfer is available here. Sherman makes it back into the fog, and it should be able to get back to safety for repairs as well. Meanwhile, here in the center, a Sherman has forced squads out of the center house. There's an infantry support gun on the field. In addition to 3 Reckenwerfers, there's a lot of AT and suppression sources for OKW. He still has both of his light vehicles and an infantry support gun now. So having a decent mix of both suppression and damage, he should be able to deal with anything Crazyman throws at him as long as he keeps microing as solidly as possible. Flak half-track pulls back for repairs here. North VP and Jaeger Light Infantry taking control of the strategic point. And this Sherman chases some Jaegers away from the strategic point. Finally, a squad is actually being sent south to get a little more territory under control. And there's an Ostwind on the field. Apparently Tabak feels sufficiently comfortable to drop 100 fuel on this. Ostwind, despite his opponent going hard into Shermans, and now a Jackson. Jackson will actually counter that Ostwind pretty hard. So, Crazyman makes a pretty good build decision right there. 2 Shermans should be enough to deal with most infantry. I feel like what he's really lacking is infantry of his own, or at least upgrades. Maybe throw some more LMGs on his riflemen, because he's clearly struggling against all these Jaeger Light Infantry. And his tanks will struggle to counter this quantity of Reckenwerfers. Panzerschreck inside this house pushes away that Sherman right there. Both sides have a pretty impressive sized army of combined arms. Tabak a little bit ahead in PopCap, 86 of 100. Although Crazyman has decrewed some of his vehicles, so they're probably pretty much the same. Sherman's going to try and start destroying that church, which takes some time. Crazyman working the right side VP. Again, a few squads of infantry moving to try and counter.
We can deploy 105mm artillery barrages at your convenience.
Incoming Sherman Panzer fire!
Oh no, this crush. Okay. Retreats just in time. Rakettenwerfers are set up to kill this. I don't think that smoke is going to land in time. No, it does not. And the Sherman is destroyed. Church is finally taken down by the Sherman. Riflemen poking in the center VP are forced to retreat by the flag half-track, which is still alive, and Vet 1 has access to smoke. That Jackson, oh, it's going to go down so quick if both of these shots connect. Oh, Sherman just targeted the infantry, and the Jackson shot missed. And Crazyman will disengage. 50 cal setup will push that infantry back through the smoke, and the Ostwind is available here to protect against any infantry from Crazyman, although he has retreated all of his infantry back to his ambulance right here for reinforcement, and the victory points are going to start ticking against him again. The loss of that Sherman hurts. He hasn't lost that much this game, but the OKW has lost even less. Really good vehicle preservation by Tabak. He even still has his Kuba wagon defending here in the center. So, very solid unit preservation. The only really close calls I think he's had are Volksgrenadier squads getting wiped and crushed by HE shells. So, doing a pretty good job of defending these two VPs while he tries to transition to stronger units so that he can cap a little more aggressively. He's a little scared to try and be the aggressor here in the south, probably for good reason. The M20 can push away any lone infantry squad, and these M6 anti-tank mines will make it necessary to go down there with a minesweeper before an Ostwind can be used as a counter-harassment unit down there in the south. He certainly doesn't want to lose any of his vehicles. I mean, there's a lot of mines down here, and OKW really struggles against mines because of how terrible their minesweeper is.
Awarded field promotion. Neutralize infantry. We've taken fire. Jäger, defensive formation. We have casualties. Enemy Panzer engaged.
Defensive stance on those riflemen, but they're getting pushed away by an Ostwind. There's the retreat. Oh, Jackson's shot just randomly damaged the engine of that Ostwind, but it'll probably be fine. That Rakettenwerfer is going to prevent it from advancing, and Jaeger's providing vision. I mean, that Jackson can't try and pull off anything sneaky. Sherman is countering harassment here in the south. Like I said, all of Tabak's attempts to work the south will fail if he sends just a couple infantry squads, and they will be dangerous if he doesn't sweep up these mines for any vehicles. So south is proving very difficult for him to deal with. A couple shoe mines going down up here, and he's just going to continue working the center and north. Although he has gotten at least these strategic points under his control. And there's a priest on the field. Priest is firing at the... somewhere. I have no idea where that's shooting. Firing at this road, apparently? I don't know. Jackson peeks the right side VP while these minesweepers try and cap. They're going to fail. And Jackson will pull back again. M20 providing vision here in the center, assisting these riflemen. And more mines being planted by Crazyman. And that's pretty much the reason, by the way, he doesn't have any LMGs. He has spent hundreds, literally hundreds of munitions on mines at this point. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it does leave him with a really weak infantry army. And against somebody who has gone 3 Rakettenwerfers, that is bad. Smoke deployed by the Sherman. It's going to go in for a crush maneuver, I think. Everything's just going to retreat. Nice. Nice usage of smoke to intimidate his opponent into retreating. Easy shutdown of that harassment attempt.
Get into marsh! Take the fire over here! Field position established.
Defensive stance riflemen engaging here on the right side are going to push away those Jaeger light infantry.
My friends and family are waiting for me in Frankfurt. I hope it is still standing after this.
Austrian pulls back to the north over there on the right side. Rear echelon troops going to repair that Jackson.
Structure is up.
I think I should change my stream title, because everybody's like, when are the finals? Who won? Okay.
Taking fire! Flanking attack! Jagdpanzer, ready for action.
Rifleman harassment attempt here in the north does get shut down, and now there's a Jagdpanzer on the field. Pretty balanced mix of units here from Tabak. I was usually in a game that runs this long, especially in a strategy this defensive, just trying to hold 1 to 2 victory points in very little territory. You see the player go for King Tiger, but Tabak is going to go 100 of 100 pop cap on Ostwind, Jagdpanzer Flak, half-track Kubelwagen, which is a very balanced composition that should be able to take on 100 of 100 pop cap of US units. But it's very micro intensive, whereas just going King Tiger is simple, easy, effective. So he's gonna have to play very solid to make this composition work. Jagdpanzer pushes away at Jackson. They both take a little bit of damage. Pulling back for some repairs. Smoke deployed on the flak half track to get those riflemen an opportunity to take the center VP. He's going to attack ground through the smoke, places the burst perfectly. Those riflemen are forced to retreat. Victory points still very much in Crazyman's favor, and his decision to go priest hasn't... Yes, I will put a replay that has something to do with penals in the past playing 40k. Thank you very much for your $5 donation. It will be done.
Infantry attacking in force.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, his priest. Jackson just died to a Panzerschreck blob. He tried to pull out for repairs, didn't have any infantry screen to protect that thing, and it just goes down just like that. Although the game's run long enough that it doesn't matter that much, he's already got another one in production. It does matter. Oh no! Finally, an M6 anti-tank mine does something. He's been waiting all game for that, by the way. That Ostwind is dead. There's no way you can save that. Mostly because there's a priest on the field. So pretty good trade, actually. I would say Tabak got a little overzealous when he took out that Jackson. He thought he saw an opening that maybe wasn't really there. Because that Ostwind is dead for sure. All the priest barrage will probably kill it. It's firing now. And even if that fails, he's got a Sherman and a Jackson that can finish it off. This overextension by these Volksgrenadiers is proving very expensive as well. That squad got wiped. At least they didn't drop their Panzerschreck. This is a bad situation for him to be in. He overextended a lot over there on the right side, and it's going to cost him a full squad of Volksgrenadiers and his Ostwind. Uh-oh. What is that M20 doing? What is it doing? Crazyman! What the hell? Okay, there goes that M20, just parked in front of a Rakettenwerfer right there. Not sure what this Jackson is doing either. A lot of sloppy mistakes on both sides. There's just vehicles are just dying. Just dying. Not even coordinated attacks, not even trades, just weird engagements. 50 cal set up to defend here in the center, probably push away that infantry. Sherman is getting some repairs. And a third Sherman is now in production. Trying to maintain a very balanced mix of late game vehicles, Priest, Jackson, and Sherman. The Priest like a heavier version of the Scott infantry company Scott replacement, longer range, higher damage, indirect fire unit. A lot easier to micro a Priest than a Scott, that's for sure. That's one of the advantages of infantry companies. You get a much easier to use unit. Almost no micro requirement at all on the Priest compared to the Scott, which you need to be staring at pretty much at all times. So kind of a fun aspect of infantry company. And the Priest hasn't paid off that much yet. It's only got 4 kills. Granted, one of the barrages it fired, he fired at the Ostwind, and he did so at maybe longer range than was necessary. He's probably trying to vet his Priest up on that Ostwind, because hitting vehicles that are immobilized is a great way to get vet. Although the vet bonuses on, well, the vet 1 bonus on a Priest is basically useless. It unlocks an ability that costs munitions and is worse than the normal barrage, but the vet 2 bonus on the Priest is extremely good. So it takes a little while for the Priest to really become very powerful, but at Vet 2, it's an extremely good thing to have. Especially against OKW, because there's so many static targets that OKW has that you can take out and get a lot of value out of that. Obersoldaten moved to take control of the victory point here in the north. Riflemen taking control of the victory point here in the south. Captain Price is messaging me on Steam. He's like, no, dude, Creeping Barrage is so good. Well, it's just my opinion, Price. I think it's bad. I've used it before. I've never had any success with it that I couldn't have gotten with just a normal barrage. But Captain Price says it's good, so if you trust Captain Price, then who am I to disagree? Riflemen working the North VP again. That North VP is the only one that has really changed hands. The Center VP very much in Tabak's control, and the South VP very much in Crazyman's control, but that North VP has been contested pretty much all game long. But Crazyman, just generally over the course of the game, still has better victory point management. Again, all harassment attempts for the South are basically futile if he doesn't make a really coordinated push to sweep all mines, push those Shermans back with the Jagdpanzer or something and a minesweeper. It's just not going to happen down there. He's just, every time he sends a squad down there, he risks just losing it for basically no gain.
Enemy attacking! Enemy flanking us!
Grenade from those riflemen. That rifle squad has to retreat. Both squads retreating. He does briefly take control of the VP, but Obersoldaten are moving to counter now. I can't believe that flak half-track is still alive. By the way, I was wondering earlier, I don't know if you caught the cast, but I was wondering if blowing up mines with indirect fire counts as a kill. Because blowing up barbed wire does, and apparently it does not. That mine just got blown up by a Priest barrage. Didn't count as a kill, so fun fact, I guess. If that's anything anybody else was curious about, and I was the only person probably that actually cares. But now we all know that blowing up mines does not count as a kill, and blowing up barbed wire does. for whatever reason. I can't believe that flak half track is still alive. Should maybe pop smoke. Here comes an attack. Ground attempt, maybe. Off target. Infantry support gun working on the 50 cal. Rakettenwerfer pushes away the Jackson. Our Rakettenwerfer's overextended. Jaeger lights here on the point will easily shut down this harassment attempt without Sherman support. They're just going to retreat immediately.
Squad back to full strength.
I see a lot of retreating on both sides from units that are just stand no chance in the engagement they're sent into. Really need to see a more coordinated push on a lot of different fronts. But mines are a serious threat to both of these players, so we need to see really good minesweeper usage as well from both players. This minesweeper looks like it's finally going to try and head south. He's probably got a very healthy fear of mines right now. He knows that utility car was down here for a long time and he lost his Ostwind on a mine, so he's seems to be just trying to work the fronts that he knows there's no mines for now. That Jackson, he really needs to try and push away that Jackson. Because every time he reveals that flak half track, the Jackson shuts him down hard. Sherman works on these infantry. Priest also bombarding the general area. Doesn't look like it's going to really hit anything. There's a Rakettenwerfer to try and nail that Sherman. Gets one shot off. 2 shots off. Sherman's down to about half. Oh, exactly half. Sherman's going to pull back to safety. I don't think that Priest barrage really hit anything. Crazyman's really struggling to get a return out of this Priest. I think it's fired maybe 5 times. If you're getting less than 1 kill per barrage, you need to aim your barrages better. Credit, of course, to Tabak for spreading his units out and utilizing so many team weapons. He doesn't even have any infantry to blob. So there are no blobs for Crazyman to shoot at, but he just can't get any good shots off. Nice mine right here. That's going to be a dead Sherman. Nice mine. Nice mine. Punishes Crazyman for advancing without minesweeper support. Minesweepers, by the way, as U.S. forces, you have no excuse. OKW, if you hit a mine, you can be like, oh, well, OKW minesweepers suck. But as U.S. forces, you have the cheapest minesweeper squad in the game. You have no excuse to be hitting mines. And that Sherman goes down.
Enemy is alerted to our presence. Prepare for counter-strike.
Mortar half track seems kind of okay now, I guess. It's not like horrible, but it's not overpowered or anything either. They didn't give it a big enough buff where you're gonna see it every single game. It has some utility where you might see it every now and then. The white phosphorus was always good, so that is a nice thing to have. Especially if you didn't go captain tier, it can be a doctrinal white phosphorus source, which is pretty neat. This late in the game is pretty unusual, though. If he was gonna get it, he would have probably by now. I think the ideal place for the mortar half track in US builds is after your first tank, before you have the CPs for priests. If you get it before your first tank, the 40 fuel cost delays your first tank, and you, as US forces, you don't usually want to delay your first tank. So that's the main downside to getting it out too quickly. But it's still nice to have an indirect fire unit once your tanks are on the field, especially in a game like this where you're having trouble breaking through your enemy's defenses, which clearly both of these players are. Obercommando West equally suffering for indirect fire this game, but he has finally gone King Tiger. Nothing wrong with doing that at this point, honestly, but it's going to be very important that he support it with a minesweeper. Very important. If he hits an M6 mine and loses that investment, that would be devastating. Stuka would have probably also been a very nice thing to have, since he's clearly got the tools to manage his opponent's armor. Jagdpanzers are doing fine. Rakettenwerfers are doing fine. But I think either one is a perfectly viable option here, and we'll see what happens once that King Tiger hits the field. There's still a Vet 4 flak half track. This thing has been doing excellent work this game. Look at that. No! No! Oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. I was just like, man, he's doing such a good job of preserving this flag abstract this game. Vet 4, you don't see that very frequently. Then it dies. Oh, that's tragic. Well, so much for that thing. Took one bazooka hit too many, and I don't think that's dropped from a captain or anything, is it? No, it's recovered from his... I think it's recovered from his M20's vehicle crew. When the M20 died, it dropped the bazooka. That's where he got that. Nice sweep. He has to retreat from that Sherman, but he at least knows the mine is there. Maybe he can blow that up with attack ground or something from his King Tiger, which is rolling onto the field now. Sherman is chasing very aggressively into the base on those stern piles with the King Tigers right there to meet him. That could be a dead Sherman depending on how overly aggressive he gets. Just drop time on target. He's probably going to be able to dodge that. I don't know what this King Tiger is doing though. What is this reverse charge? It's like, okay, whatever, I give up. Sherman's gone. Good use of smoke. Bad use of the King Tiger. But obviously he was trying to micro his units out of that artillery, which ends up being a waste for Crazyman. It doesn't really hit anything. King Tiger upgrading with the top mount machine gun now. Both players still at 100 of 100 pop cap, so it really is just a tactics game at this point. Priest is firing here. I guess. I'm not even sure what that's targeted at. Oh, at that Rakettenwerfer, I guess. That was a pretty good shot. It's finally Vet 1. If he gets a miracle hit on that Jagdpanzer, he could get a really nice chunk of veterancy towards Vet 2, but it's not happening. Jaegers on the right side push those riflemen away, and I think it's smart actually to utilize the King Tiger here in the north right now since he knows there's no mines. And he can pick up some squad wipes or push away some tanks, get a little bit of veterancy, and he doesn't have to be worried about mines. Versus that retreat, just a little more vet on that Sherman. We'll keep working this VP. He's working the center VP simultaneously. He needs to be very careful with victory points at this point. He's down to less than 100, so he can't really afford to be losing them. Jagdpanzer has to contend with 2 Shermans and a Jackson by itself. There's one Rakettenwerfer on this flanking route. Ooh, and another Rakettenwerfer somewhere over here. The Kubelwagen finally dies. That's exactly what I'm talking about, by the way, with his really mixed composition. Keeping a Kubelwagen alive at 100 of 100 pop cap against a swarm of allied armor is basically impossible. So there's nothing wrong with losing that Kubelwagen. It would take a micro god to keep that thing alive, for sure. And it wasn't that useful at this point anyway, so that's not that big of a deal. If anything, it just frees up his pop cap for some higher tech stuff. He's gonna throw some obers on the field as soon as his... Actually, the Kubelwagen wasn't even enough of a pop cap loss for those overs to get out, so he's got them queued up, but they can't hit the field right now. He's mostly just floating 800 manpower worth of Oversoldaten worth of pop cap in the bank, which is why he needs to spend, quote-unquote, some of his pop cap right now by trading aggressively and taking territory. He needs to make a big push for territory and lose some units so that he can free up some of his pop cap and spend... Basically, what that translates to is trying to spend your pop cap in exchange for territory. That's... If KOTOR were like a trading card game, that's how that would work. King Tiger moves to engage that Sherman. Late reaction by Crazyman. Way late. That's a dead Sherman. Vet 3 too. That's just a shame. King Tiger just missed. I think it's dead. It's gonna get at least 2 more shots, I think. It just missed twice. What? Oh my god. There's no way this Sherman survives. Okay, there it goes. There it goes. Although that Sherman's maneuvering did convince the King Tiger to expose its rear armor to a Vet 2 Jackson, so that's something. Priest is bombarding over here, trying to put pressure on some more team weapons and force retreats. That Jackson's going in way hard on that King Tiger, which needs to get to safety. Time on target artillery is not going to hit anything, but I guess I applaud the attempt. He needs to try and get that thing turned around so the Jackson shots might bounce. It's taking a lot of damage right here. I think it's going to survive as it rounds this corner. Yeah, Crazy Man's going to disengage, but he took so much damage right there. So, I guess that Vet 3 Sherman didn't die for nothing. Whoa! Nice mine again. Crazy Man losing a lot of vehicles to mines this game. That's 2 tanks. 2 tanks lost to mines compared to Tabak, who's lost an Austrian to mines, and the rest to miss micro or good pushes by Crazy Man. So, a little slightly better minesweeper usage by Crazy Man would go a long way. The loss of that Jackson hurts a little, but he's ahead in the fuel game, I think. Sort of. I don't know. That King Tiger represents a lot of fuel. But Flak Half-Track dead, Kuba Wagon dead, Osman dead is a lot of fuel taken out by Crazy Man as well. Pretty even trades thus far, and they're still both at pretty close to 100 of 100 pop cap. Crazy Man slightly behind while he gets some more armor out, but nothing too serious. Tabak, however, just generally has more stuff banked. He's still floating 800 manpower in these queued up overs. So he needs to try to trade more aggressively, which can be difficult to do, by the way, when you have a King Tiger, which you can't afford to lose, and not that many infantry squads, mostly just team weapons. You don't generally want to trade aggressively with an infantry support gun. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't even make any sense. He only has 5 squads of infantry with which to get aggressive and try to trade territory, so looks like he's trying to do that, but maybe he should try and do that on multiple fronts. He's going to make another attempt at sweeping up that mine, which will get shut down again. He needs to keep that King Tiger glued to that minesweeper squad if he's going to attack the south. He really does. Either that or go straight down the middle towards the cutoff to try and kill the priest, which is putting a lot of pressure on him, and he definitely doesn't want to let it get to Vet 2. It's at 12 kills now. If it gets Vet 2, Crazy Man's going to have it fires like really fast. At Vet 2 it fires really quick. If he moves it into close range on the base, and he has been barraging the base, but or no, that's a time on target, but still, this kind of behavior could potentially get punished very hard by that priest. And it'll be able to do so very frequently at Vet 2. Oh no! Oh no, that's not good. Oh no, he's gonna have to repurchase that. He has to repurchase that minesweeper. That still doesn't free up enough pop cap for that ogre squad. He's at 91 and he's 10 pop cap for ogres. He needs to cancel those. Oh nope, now he can't. Now he's at 99 of 100 and can't even make a minesweeper, which is bad. He knows the position of that mine, so he's gonna avoid it, but I don't think he knows about this one. No! Oh no! Oh no, that's so bad. He can't even make Sturm Pyos. He can't. He has to suicide something. Maybe that's what he's doing on purpose right here in front of this fighting position. Don't let that stuff die. That should open up some pop cap for Sturm Pyo squad. For Kettenwerfer, a little further back, we'll destroy that. Okay. And he just queued up 3 Sturm Pyos. That might have been a little overzealous. I don't think he needs that many, but okay. This is going to be very hard to defend. It's extremely easy to circle strafe a King Tiger to death that's immobilized. Fortunately, there's one Kettenwerfer here. Jackson firing from over here can probably just kill that King Tiger range. I'm pretty sure there's nothing that can do to save this. I could be wrong. Crazy Man could just park right next to it without circle strafing or microwing at all. Oh my god. Crazy Man, all you had to do was sit your Jackson like right there. In fact, you didn't even have to use your tanks to kill this. You got a priest. Oh my god. And Crazy Man loses 3 tanks to an immobilized King Tiger with almost no health left when he has a priest on the field. That third Sherman died to his own M6 mine blowing up underneath it. In all fairness, a little bit of bad luck. But seriously, come on. Priest is firing at the King Tiger now. Almost wiping the repairing squad. This could very well kill it. You might consider moving into like closer range. You could have parked right there to reduce scatter. It may not be necessary though. Yeah, one more hit and this thing's done. And King Tiger dead. That's really all it took. That's all he had to do. But he suicided 3 tanks into it first. Which is going to give Tabak a huge amount of map control, by the way. Look at how red the map is turning as a result of all of Crazyman's mobile firepower being destroyed.
Stay in cover. We've lost a squad of infantry.
LMG squad will get chased away here in the north. Those Ogres and Jaegers will easily be able to get that victory point back under control. Sherman getting aggressive clears the infantry support gun right there. Jagdpanzer is going to try and hunt down that overly aggressive Sherman. Couldn't quite get the snipe. Sherman gets the safety. Stern Pios are engaging the Rakettenwerfer here. Stolen Rakettenwerfer might get cleared on the red cover. Gets away narrowly. Harassment attempt for the south will fail in the face of these Stern Pios. I'm wondering what Tabak will do with for his next fuel purchase. He's banked so much manpower while he was pop capped and fuel that he might go with another KT. He still has this tier 4 structure. If he wants something a lot more pop cap efficient, he could go Panther. It's only 16 compared to the Panther, or King Tiger, which is 26. Apparently not though. He would rather just get a new KT. Priest just wiped Stern Pios and almost also wiped those Volks Grenadiers, I think. And that's Vet 2 on that Priest. Vet 2 from killing the King Tiger means that it can fire really quickly. 42 seconds for the next barrage. That'll be a nice weapon to have against that fresh King Tiger, especially if it makes the mistake of hitting another M6 mine.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Crazyman has to try and replace a lot of his armored losses. He's currently got this Sherman and a fresh one rolling onto the field. We got 2 Shermans. Shermans are very important to have on this map to work the flanks and get the victory points under your control. Push away Jaegers and Ogres. You have VPs. A King Tiger can only protect 1 victory point at a time, so Shermans are a much more mobile anti-infantry source that you can use to harass territory. Minesweeper and Rifleman working the north are going to get that victory point under control. This Rakettenwerfer will maybe be able to get this under cover of smoke. Jaeger Lights might push it away with infiltration grenades or something. Or not.
Enemy Panzer engaging!
King Tiger ready. Direct as needed.
Priest wipes another squad. All these wipes from the Priest. Really stacking up over the course of this game. 29 kills on that thing. Oh, come on, don't just stand in the Priest barrage. Oh, jeez, now he has no Stern Pios. LKW is weak now. I don't know what I think about that. I think a lot of mistakes were made, honestly. Hitting mines.
Prepare to execute.
I don't know. I feel like he didn't support his minesweeper when he went to go sweep, and he didn't support his tanks when he went without sweeping, so it's hard. I know it's super hard. The minesweeper range is just terrible, and the minesweeper squad is ridiculously expensive. So late game, you really struggle to clean up mines. Mines are probably one of the hardest counters to OKW. Always have been, still are. Unfortunately.
We are suffering
I feel like this was anybody's game until that King Tiger hit that mine down there.
Enemy flanking us!
I think you could argue that OKW actually is weak now, but not really against infantry company. I don't think infantry company is normally the complaint. He just hit another mine. He's trying to sweep mines up with a Jagdpanzer. He does get that thing parked in position to shoot at any armor that might be engaging there on the south. Jaeger's trying to take control of a victory point here in the north, might also get wiped by that Sherman. Rakettenwerfer's going to get the point captured very soon. King Tiger, finally all the mines I'm pretty sure are gone. I don't think I see any more mines on this battlefield. Except for that one. And Sherman's going to die. Left idle in front of that King Tiger. Minesweeper squad moving to try and take that VP will definitely fail. Crazyman doesn't have that much infantry left of himself. 2 rifle squads, spending all of his manpower for the last several minutes on more tanks. Let that one die to inattentiveness. He still has the Vet 2 Priest. If the King Tiger drives straight forward, it could probably take it out. Jagdpanzer's just sitting there awaiting repairs, but there are no stern piles on the field yet. They're currently in production. Another squad of Obersoldaten is going to get chased back into the base. King Tiger chases away the Minesweeper. Only 30 points remaining for Tabak right now. Crazyman needs to try and get VPs under his control if he can. He doesn't exactly have a ton of VPs left himself, only 131. Riflemen moving to take control of this now. King Tiger circles back around to try and kill this Sherman, but it has a lot of turret rotation it still has to do. Sherman deploys smoke. It should be able to get away, maybe. King Tiger is sticking pretty close to it. I think this Sherman is going to try and kite that King Tiger over this mine. I don't think he's going to make it, though. Does not make it. Rakettenwerfer snipes it from range. And that King Tiger, continuing its rampage, may be able to take out a lot of priority targets here in the U.S. base. But he's only got 29 victory points remaining, and he needs to push 2 rifle squads away from the center VP with 1 squad of Jaegers and Sturmpyos. They are Vet 4. King Tiger decides not to advance on the base and to assist in this engagement, pushing away that rifle squad right there. Priest is bombarding the center VP, though. Only 25 points remaining with that Priest barrage coming in. He doesn't feel comfortable continuing to engage with that one-man Jaeger squad. Sturmpyos trying to push away those riflemen. They're flanking around behind the King Tiger for a grenade, but they don't like the engagement and will retreat. It looks like the center VP will fall back into Axis control. Clock is stopped at 21. King Tiger is going to make its way towards the American base. And a harassment attempt for the north is definitely going to fail. Obersoldaten will get chased away by this Sherman. Jaegers will get chased away by that Sherman. King Tiger is going deep, which means that nothing is defending the south VP. Rakettenwerfer is going to work on his fuel cache. Alright, at this point it does not really matter. Rear echelon troops taking control of the south victory point. Rakettenwerfer retreating. King Tiger can't seem to make up its mind what it wants to do. If he goes south, he won't be able to defend the center against this. If he goes north, maybe he can get that captured. If he doesn't take a victory point somewhere, he probably can't just park here, though. He needs to do something. He fields an Ostwind as an emergency measure to try and retake the south. Probably a good play. I think that made sense. Ostwind heading south to counter that Minesweeper, Jaegers to capture the actual point. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it in time, though. He has a little bit of time. As long as he doesn't lose this VP, he has a little bit of time. Jaegers moving to take control of that south VP. That Ostwind basically needs to park down here. And if a Sherman arrives down there, then he needs to field a Rakettenwerfer or something as well, while the King Tiger continues to work the center and north. Overs are going to make a try for the north VP.
They say every guy
14 victory points remaining. Riflemen now working on the center. North also changing hands. South also changing hands. All 3 victory points contested. I think maybe 1 victory point will tick down. Yeah. 14 down to 13 before Tabak retakes control. Ostwind rotates center to try to engage the Rakettenwerfer and Bazooka Riflemen. King Tiger chases away that squad of rifles. That Obersoldaten squad will get pushed away by the Sherman now that the King Tiger is rotated back center. This victory point juggling is getting very delicate. Mines getting planted here by these Sturm Pios. Rakettenwerfer for support. King Tiger is not going to dive. If he dove with that King Tiger right now, he may have enough victory point control right now to maybe take out the priest and maybe a squad of infantry or something. There is an M6 mine right there, though. They're still not all gone. And he doesn't currently have a minesweeper or any munitions. Sherman forces away the Obersoldaten there in the north. Rifle squad trying to get that taken. King Tiger is moving to counter while the Ostwind and one Rakettenwerfer defend here in the south. Oh no, I think he might hit that mine. Actually no, he still knows about it. He swept that mine twice, just never actually cleared it. He probably should have tried to clear it up with attack round or something. Sherman finds the opening it needs against that Ostwind and it will go down, although it may not survive its attempt to get home. This Rakettenwerfer will hit it from the rear. One more shot. One more. Oh, it just gets clear. Just barely gets clear. There's the snipe. Abandoned. Oh man, those Jaegers might recover that Sherman. I don't know. He doesn't have that much repairs though, and the clock is about to start ticking against him again as these riflemen take control of the area. The King Tiger gets a main gun destroyed crit on a Sherman in the north. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that turret rotation is so slow. So slow. Infiltration grenades to try and turn the engagement to a little bit of damage. One shots the squad, and apparently crew shocks these Jaegers, because that makes sense. I don't even know what that means. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. There it is. GG. Set up a very brief triple cap, but that was all he needed. Well played, Crazy Man. And he did actually recover that Sherman at the end. What did that Priest Barrage kill? I think that Priest Barrage freeze frame killed a full infantry squad that was trying to take the south. But even regardless of that Priest Barrage, that triple cap at the very end, very nicely played by Crazy Man. GG, Allies win.